What is up, internet? We are here today.
Up?
I am joined by Daniel Clancy.
Hey, Vetters.
Nephew to Tom Clancy. I don't know. I just made that up, but
I get that a lot. I get old Danny Boy as well. I get that song.
Danny Boy. Yes. Oh, that reminds me of Conan O'Brien. Big fan of Conan O'Brien. Anyway, this is our monthly VETTED monthly live stream. I do it every time on the first of the month without fail. Now, of course, I do other live streams through the month, but this one especially on the first of every month is sort of just a vetted live stream. Like we're just going to be real vetted here today and just kind of answer as many. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can from the chat today. I know I've been really bad on that lately, but today my focus is you guys watching. So we are going to take a look at one little clip from the new Michael Herrera interview that's out. I figure we cover it a little bit, give us something to talk about, but mainly this is it, just an ask me anything sort of live stream. So and I mean anything. So yeah, that's it. And we got Daniel here, right? He's our head mod, set up the Discord server for us. You've seen him in the chat. You might have seen him on a live stream. So Daniel's here. Now I invited all the other mods as well. So they may join, they may not. I told them completely last minute. That seems to be my new thing now, telling people things last minute. But from here on forth, on our monthly live stream on the first, the mods will always be welcome. And hopefully that'll be the thing, like just me and the mods hanging out, talking, chatting. I think that would be cool. So if you don't see them, it's not their fault. I told them literally last minute. So anyway, what's up, Danny?
Fun mods. They're great. They're real fun to talk to. We have our little internal meetings for the Discord stuff, and we get a little chance to catch up sometimes. Then they're just a good bunch of people. So I love being part of that little group. If you have your questions, though, if you want to make sure that I don't miss them, because I'm a bit of a dunce, put them in capital letters so I can see them here.
I see one question.
I'll make sure they start off for later.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
I'll try and catch the ones that are not in caps as well, but
Yeah, for sure. If you can't put them in all caps, your questions for me, and Daniel's just going to star them off, and I'm just going to start going, after them here. Now I'm going to wait just a few minutes and let people sort of join in the live stream. I always do this at the beginning. So as a tradition on every live stream, I do this at the beginning. Please tell me where you're watching from. I would love to know where you are tuning in from. Please. Oh, we got a fellow Aussie here.
Darren's fellow Aussie.
So hit it out. Let me know where you're at. I'm in Texas. Daniel's in Australia. We got Buenos Aires, Argentina. Love Argentina, baby. South Africa, Pittsburgh, Nashville, China, Cincinnati, Germany, Santa Clara, California, London, Tucson, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Atlanta, Albania, Brooklyn, West Covina, California, Virginia, Missouri, Buford, Georgia. What's up, Mark? Seattle, Serbia, legend in the house. Greece, Tennessee, Las Vegas, Scotland, Florida, Wales, Charlotte, South Texas, Atlanta, Serbia. Love it. Jessica's in North Texas. We got Brookers in Lancashire, England. Love it, y'all. We are worldwide. Everywhere. Another North Carolina. Yeah. Pecos, New Mexico. Prague. We in the house. I'm from where I was at. Wait, what? That's funny. Harrisburg, Welsh in the house. France at the moment. Cat's Eyes. What's up, brother? Perth. That's in Perth, Australia, right?
Yeah, I lived in Perth for 10 years.
Hell yeah. Darren, welcome, brother.
Beautiful city.
Antarctica. That's a lie. Come on now. I'm just kidding.
It
Melbourne.
Might not be.
Melbourne. There you go.
Yeah, I lived Area in Melbourne 51 for a year.
Give us the secrets, Cassius King. You're in Area 51. Norway. I want to go to Norway so bad. Prague. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Prague too. Dude, and I lived in Europe for years. Like I was a resident of Europe. There's so many countries I didn't see. You know why? Because I was working.
Where in Europe?
I lived in Spain for years.
Oh, I know that. You told me that before.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. Los Angeles,
Chris Smith.
and I will be moving back to
Sticker.
Spain eventually.
Oops. I unchecked it accidentally. Whoops.
Bali. Oh, that's awesome. Czech Republic. Very cool. Thank you, Chris, for the super sticker here. Thank you so much. Massachusetts. Beautiful. Australia. All right, guys. I'm going to jump into some of these questions and just get this going. It looks like a good question. I don't know. Okay, Paul. Do you think that ufology has become a new religion, as Diana Pasulka wrote in her book? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I 100% do. Now, maybe, religion's an interesting word to use because it implies, like, right, some sort of creator, some sort, right? God, maybe not, I guess. In the sense that it's become this organized group. I would agree with that statement, right? I mean, clearly anyone that follows this pretty closely is probably pretty aware of that. So I hope that answers your question, brother. Okay. Break dancer. What if the United States has a secret agreement with aliens that allowed them to abduct and experiment on American citizens for alien technology? How would the general public react, you think? Not good. They would not react well. Let's be real, right? What if you were accepted into a agreement that you had no part of to be abducted by aliens and experimented on? Yeah. There's no way the public would react positively to that. And I've heard that that's potentially the case, and that's an interesting, like, thought experiment, right? So, and scary, if I'm being honest, that idea that that could happen to us. So what do y'all think in the comments? Yeah, I don't think people would react well at all. Patrick Harrelson says, have you read God's Man and War by Tom DeLonge or listened to the audiobooks? I have not. I have not gotten to Tom DeLonge's books yet. I did. Well, that's not true. I've read certain parts and things like that. I watched his movie too, which whatever, but yeah, I've read certain stuff of his books, but not that one in particular. Yeah, what do y'all think of Tom DeLonge? You think he's going to come back around into the community again more? That would be interesting. I mean, he's clearly on tour with Blink 182, his band, so that's taking precedent right now. Be curious to see if he comes back into the community in a powerful way. I think he will. Mark, what's up, Mark? Thoughts on cryptids, high strangeness associated with the phenomena? Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it all. There's very interesting stories there. I haven't really explored that on the Vetted channel, but I hope to one day as we expand out from more than just UFOs. So yeah, it's interesting. Look, who hasn't been intrigued by Bigfoot and the idea of cryptids? I had a cryptozoologist on my last podcast, Lone Star Plate. I interviewed this guy. I wish I knew his name, but he's he's definitely well known in the field. Lyle Blackburn, I think that's his name, Lyle Blackburn. And he's good friends with the guy. He's good friends with the guy that filmed the famous Bigfoot video. Right, the one that the guy walks by on a river. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I did hear this one thing about, like, that guy is actually the guy in the video. So the guy claiming to have filmed it, he's actually the one in the video, because they compared footage of him walking to the Bigfoot walking, and it was identical. He even did the look back thing that he does in the Bigfoot video. Where he did that too. Like, it was crazy, honestly. But I don't know. But yeah, it's very exciting. There's lots of stories about Bigfoot and other cryptids. and the high strangeness for sure, right? There's a lot to this phenomena more than just UFOs and aliens. I definitely agree with that. There's a lot of stuff that you might not put in the box of this phenomena, right? Coincidences, people say synchronicities, those sorts of things, deja vus, lucid dreams. Yeah, I find it all fascinating. So, yeah, Mark, we'll definitely get into it more in the channel. All right, Jude, what do you personally believe based on everything you have learned to date? Great question, Jude. And I've probably slammed so much information in a year that would take people a long time, probably, because I get to do this every day. It is my job. Look, if I'm being honest, I'm still at the same spot, meaning I've seen no evidence that directly would lead me to believe all of this, or proof, any physical, right? Something. There's been a lot of great stuff, keep me interested, for sure. I've seen more smoke than I could have ever imagined, and something is going on. I will say that. What it is, I don't know, but definitely something's going on. And yeah. So I guess that's what I've learned. There's definitely something going on. I just don't know what it is. But I have seen just like all of you. I mean, you would have heard about it by now. There was this huge smoking gun of something. There's a lot of great prospects. A lot of great prospects. What do you think, Jude? All right, Darren says, we have solved the pyramid mystery. It's a vacuum vortex plasma device connected to UFO technology, and I have knowledge of the UFO and children issue. Okay, that's not a question. AG says, what is the weirdest, seemingly unexplainable thing that has ever happened to you? That's a great question, actually. Okay, I have never told this story before. I don't think. Definitely not vetted. I'll tell it right now, first time. So when I was about 20 years old, my girlfriend and I at the time were at my apartment. We're hanging out alone. I had two other roommates. They weren't there, but we were there hanging out. And this is old school, right? This is like 2000. So people still had like big speaker systems and big speakers and, tube TVs and that sort of thing. So my like entertainment system was massive and I had a lot of stuff and I had a receiver and all these things, right? We're hanging out and my sound system, my stereo system just pops on like full blast, but static. Just, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it scared the living shit out of me. Right. So I go and turn it off and I don't think anything. I'm just like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? Within 5 minutes, it happens again. And I had turned it off. Okay. And it turned back on and did the static thing again. Again, full volume blast. Did it again. And I go turn it off again. And my girlfriend is kind of freaking out a little bit at this point. She's just like, what the hell's going on?
Weird.
So we're hanging out. I tell her it's not a big deal. I'm not joking. Within another 5 minutes or so, it does it a third time. And I freak out.
Oh.
Then I tell my girlfriend, I turned it off. My girlfriend's like, I want to leave. I don't want to be in here. Like, I want to leave here right now. So we did. We left and we came back like 2 hours later. And within being there another 10 minutes or so, it happened again. I'll never forget that. And that was the last time it happened. I turned it off and then it didn't happen again. But then my girlfriend wouldn't even come over my house for a while because of that. But I'll never forget that. I don't know what happened. I always think about that. I don't know. Just weird. I don't know how to explain it. That's probably the weirdest thing. That might not even be that weird. Some of you are like, it doesn't sound very weird at all.
I mean, it's pretty weird.
I don't know. I still can't explain it to this day. Yeah, I don't know. So whatever. That's what it is. Roland Gibbs, how is the Phoenix Lights project going? Awesome, Roland. Thank you for asking. July 4th, I will be presenting that video, which is Thursday for Americans. I don't know Daniel, I guess that'll be
Friday morning.
Friday early
Early
morning.
Friday
Yeah.
morning. Early Friday.
But for
yeah,
for us, July 4th for me, it's coming out. It's going great. Really happy that the Discord community got behind that. And it's awesome. I'm going to do it a little differently for the next one we do, and I'm going to involve the Discord members even more. And I'll talk about that after this other video goes out. But yeah, really excited. It's going great. Daniel's got a little piece in it that I had, asked him if he could make, basically announcing the next case we're going to do. It's really cool. So I'm really excited for you guys to see the video and then learn about the next case we're going to do. Now, this video that I'm putting out, it's the first one. It's not meant to like break any new ground or anything like that, but just basically cover, what's out there and bring it all together and, make it interesting. So,
guys, I realize it looks like I'm like somewhere else right now, but I'm actually looking at the chat on the side of I've got an extra wide monitor, so it looks like I'm looking away. I am paying attention. I'm just scanning for questions.
Yeah. At VETTED, what's your UFO
you
related guilty pleasure, if any? Great question. Look, I love Ancient Aliens and that shit. Okay, I do. I love that shit. I love that show. I always have. I will just watch UFO videos, just different things. Like, I don't really care. I just want to see it. It's interesting to me. I'll get into those shows.
I even enjoy I really enjoy even the obviously fake ones. Like, they're fun.
Yeah, I'm all into it. But I will watch just about anything when it comes to UFOs. And I love any movies about UFOs or aliens. I'm all about that for sure. Any movies, TV shows, I'm in. If it just has that premise, I'm probably going to like it. Great question. Aaron Dunn says, Patrick, what are your thoughts on the report indicating that at least some of the alien mummies are built of multiple human parts? Aaron, great question, and I'm glad you brought up the mummies. So, behind the scenes, I am working on bringing this to VETTED, the mummies. So, trying to figure out how to do it. Either I'm going to just do an interview with somebody and bring it all into that, or I'm going to make like a edited video with some interviews in it as well. Basically, just presenting all the information on both sides, bringing up to date of the Nazca mummies. So showing, reports of people saying it's fake. Yeah, absolutely. We'll include some of those details. And then also the details of people saying it's real. Because again, my goal is to provide you the information and you decide. I don't want to just show one side or the other and then you're not, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But I don't really have an opinion at this moment. I've said my thoughts on this many times. I know for a fact they have faked these sorts of things before, but I'm not saying that these are fake because I'm not going to correlate the two. I'm not going to make this new investigation or case pay the sins of previous things that have happened. Right? I believe in the more I get into this, the more I feel you got to look at each thing individually and judge it on that. So, I mean, you got some people saying some new things about it. I'm interested. I want to cover it. Pavel, who's a big, friend of the show. He's following it. He thinks it's something. So I'm here. I want to be able to show it. People should at least have the opportunity to present their case and their evidence, not just be shut off immediately. Right. So we will get to it, though. I am going to cover it on VETTED. I'm just looking for the right way to do that. So great question. Thank you, Aaron. Mark, ultra-terrestrial ancient civilizations and the Nazca mummies. Thoughts? Okay, well, just said it there, Mark. But yeah, ultra-terrestrial ancient civilizations. Look, check out my interview with Dr. Michael Masters. That's a great discussion about that, right? Because he wrote that very famous, one of the authors of this very famous paper that went all over the news, right? Everybody was talking about it. So we had him on. We talked about it. I recommend checking that out. I kind of give my opinion a little bit there, and we talk about it. But yeah, absolutely. I'm open to everything until it's proven otherwise. Right. So at this point, because nothing has been proven, it's all possible at this point. But I find it very fascinating, and I would like to cover it more. Advanced ancient civilizations, Graham Hancock, style content. I'm in. I do want to cover that more. So great question, Mark. Jim, Tom DeLonge on Vetted one day? Hell yeah, that would be awesome. But I got to admit,
That'd be cool.
with my music background, I'd have to do 2 interviews because the first one I would just be asking about music shit. I'm not gonna lie. If I got Tom DeLonge in front of me, I'm asking him about music shit first and foremost.
Well, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
That'd be a great conversation.
Yeah, would definitely love to have Tom DeLonge on, like without a doubt. Zach? I'm saying that right. Have you seen David Flynn decode a crop circle? Amazing, crazy. No, I've never heard of David Flynn and decode a crop circle. I would love to do an episode on crop circles and cover that more, if I'm being honest. That should be one of our vetted Discord cases, is just crop circles, and we just look into that. That needs to happen. Oh wait, I'm in charge of that. I guess I could make that happen. I forgot I'm running this show here. Yeah, I would love to cover crop circles more.
I'm obsessed with crop circles.
Yeah, they're fascinating, right? They look cool. It's a fascinating. It's like cattle mutilations. It's a fascinating aspect to the phenomenon.
Well, it also, for me, it's like it's one of the at the top of the pyramid of the more believable and verifiable stuff. Like there's tangible things there going on.
Yeah, good point. Good
with
the
point. Crop and stuff,
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Daniel. Hak Anu, what do you think will happen once our black projects reach the technological advancements necessary to create aircraft that resemble a UFO and the 5 observables are no longer applicable? Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Would the observables need to change? Or let's be real, hopefully we have disclosure by then. And some people say that's already happened, right? That we've already reverse engineered UFOs, right? That is the Michael Herrera story, right? That UFO that Michael saw that supposedly was human trafficking psychics. He claims that was a reverse engineered UFO. Right? Was an alien, right? Remember, if you remember at the very beginning of his story on Sean Ryan's show, he said, this is not about aliens. And then that changed later on after he met this insider. But yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I don't really have a good answer, to be honest. But that is a great question. What do y'all think in the comments? What do you think of this guy's question? It is a good question. All right, Lucas Pastina says, do you believe in Dr. Stephen Greer's claims about his UFO experiences? It's not about believe or not. There's no proof or evidence, so it just becomes a story. I don't believe or not believe it, if that makes sense. It just, okay. Until there's evidence or proof, then I could believe. But I'm not here to put him down or anything, like all these stories. I just listen. Until there's some proof or evidence tangible that is widely accepted, it's not about belief or not belief. Now, if I feel someone's being, purposefully deceptive and lying, that's different. But yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about Dr. Stephen Greer's claims? He's quite divisive, right, in the community. Not saying for any good reason. I'm just saying he is divisive, just like Vetted is, if I'm being honest. Same thing. But great question, man. Nazca mummies, fake or real? I answered that.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I've answered already about the Nazca mummies, like what I'm going to do about, you know what I mean? Patrick, do you plan to do any field investigations to up your chance at a sighting? I mean, look, vetted can't be everything, right? I can't be a daily show, do all the interviews people want to do, out in the field investigate, right? At least not right now. I'm one man. Would I like to eventually? Absolutely. I think eventually I would like to be boots on the ground with some of this, and not going to do it often, but I do have one planned for Roswell, right? This July, at the end of July. Could be beginning of August. So I am going to go out into the field and test this, right? And it'll probably just be special events for now for vetted. Could there be a point where there's maybe like a monthly one? Sure, but not right now. But yeah, I mean, as far as up my chance at a sighting, look, like I have been on remote places on planet Earth, in some of the most remote places that humans have never even touched before, right? Very few. I've had a chance to stand out in complete darkness, no light pollution, many times. I've never seen anything, you know? So I've had lots of chances for sightings. I don't know if it would necessarily up my chance, right? But still a great question, Robert. And yes, I do plan on getting out there. But again, my main goal always is daily videos. That's my thing. There's many other channels that do other things. But yeah, I wish I could just do it all. I'm being honest. But great question. Cat Eyes. If you got the opportunity to do a call-in show, would you do it and be the new Art Bell? That's a great question, Cat Eyes. Someone left a comment in the Experiencer episode that we dropped over the weekend when I brought those 3 experiencers on: Parsi, Christian, and Paul. Someone mentioned that in the comments, like, would you do a call-in show? I would. And I find that pretty fascinating.
Sick.
Here's the only issue. Okay. And y'all tell me what you think. Radio is a little different. Okay. So if I did a call-in show, I would have to have someone screen those calls ahead of time. And if I'm live streaming and someone gets through and says some shit on my live stream to troll me or mess with vetted, because that would happen if I did a call-in show, let's be real, they could get my channel shut down or demonetized. So you got to be real careful who you let on just talking. Can't just let anybody on.
You could.
So I don't know. I gotta find a workaround to that potentially. I could pre-record it.
No, you could just engineer a dump button. They're pretty simple to implement, actually. When it does, it forces a delay of about 5 to whatever predefined time you want. You can make it 5 seconds or whatever. And if you need to dump that previous 10 seconds of content, you just push the button and it's immediately expelled from the feed and it doesn't make it to the broadcast. So that's a contingency that I think a lot of radio stations have. And because you think about it, they've got to deal with advertisers and well, it's actually quite simple to implement, and I can show you offline if it ever comes to that. It's definitely doable.
Okay, boom. See, that's why we got Daniel here, the tech expert, y'all. That's awesome. So yeah, because the idea of doing it sounds great. I would love to talk to experiencers and absolutely. Cool, especially someone like me, I think. Well, I think someone like me could benefit. Let me take myself out of it and look at myself, which is a little weird, but I'm not an experiencer myself. So I wouldn't bring any bias to it, right? I'm neutral, just would hear it, ask some questions, but I always believe in open discussion and open conversation and respectful dialogue. Always, no matter the subject. So yeah, that would be really cool. And I know a lot of experiencers would want to tell their story. And I know there's, and on top of that, there's people that want to hear the stories. Look, I'll be real. If I was like every other podcaster or content creator, they would look at the video that I put out with the 3 experiencers and say, I'm never doing that again. Let me tell you why. Because it didn't perform as well as my other videos, right? And they'll base it on performance. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a net benefit, right? Look at how positive the comments were. The people that did watched it loved it, right? And it helped a lot of people, I think, right? So I would look past that, right? And I saw a net benefit to that conversation, and I'm really glad those guys came on, and spoke with me. I really am, and I would like more people to do it. So I'm not worried about the performance of it, because I think there is a net benefit to having those conversations. So anyway, yeah, I'm down. Great question, Cat Eyes. And thank you, Daniel, for offering that. And if we do something like that, then yeah, I'll definitely talk to you about that.
Yeah.
'Cause that would be cool.
It's definitely doable.
Ryan Potter says, maybe you've covered this before, but do you think we can trust Danny Sheehan, or could he be in cahoots with intelligence and spreading disinformation? Thanks. Well, I've had Danny on before, and he's coming on again, and I've covered Danny a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. I like Danny. I trust
Yeah.
him. I'm not saying I know everything he's saying to be true, but he's a genuine person. When he's talking to me, I don't get any sign of him trying to be deceptive in any way. In fact, I find him to be quite nice and just quite respectful and open, and I trust him in that sense. Again, I'm not saying what he's saying is true. I have no way to confirm it, but yeah, I like Danny. So no, I don't think he's out there to spread misinformation, in my opinion. I really don't. So I like
I
Danny,
got a
and I
good
want him to
sense
come
from
on.
him.
Yeah, he's just a
I got a
good
good
dude.
sense from him from the episode that you did with him, and I'm not sure why I didn't recognize it. I guess maybe I just hadn't watched as much content of him in it, but like I did get that same sense of I don't think you're BSing. You're a pretty straight up guy, and like I agreed with a lot of stuff that he said with, which kind of I don't know why it surprised me, but it did. So yeah, I feel the same about Danny Sheehan.
Right on. Yeah, look, we're gonna have him on. He's always willing to come on and answer questions. What more do you want from somebody? Robert Earl, I keep hearing disclosures going to happen in 2027. The government has admitted crash retrieval programs are real. At this point, are they calling us dumb cattle? What's your take on admitted info and discourse? Great comment and questions. I mean, disclosure, not discourse. Sorry. Again, there's many avenues to disclosure, and even within each main avenue of disclosure, you've got subsets to it, right? So, for instance, government disclosure, and with underneath that is that, right? All these different kinds of government disclosure, and then personal disclosure, right? Again, some people have had a personal experience. That is their disclosure. They don't need it anymore. And everyone's got their own journeys and different sides to it. So, again, for me, the government, let them say whatever they want. Yes, people should be fighting for that, and we need UAP legislation like Danny's trying to do, and get it into the public sphere. I'm all about it. Absolutely. There's just multiple fights happening, in the sense, not fights, but you know what I mean, multiple journeys, right? So the government side going for it, that's a frustrating one. That's a very frustrating journey for sure. And then the personal one, right, which is mainly what I'm on. I think a lot of people. So as far as the government goes, I just kind of listen at a distance, just like politics in real life. 'Cause I hate politics. I hate both sides. I'm not Republican, Democrat. I don't get it. I think they're all liars, in my opinion. That's what I've learned. So with the government disclosure, just at a distance, and I pay attention. I support when I can and how I can, and report on it. And then there's this other disclosure, right? So, and look, we know retrieval programs are real, but we haven't confirmed with any evidence that they're UFO crash retrievals, right? So I don't, and again, the government isn't this one thing, right? So there could be certain people that are treating us like dumb cattle, like you're saying, and others that aren't, right? And that's the government, the American government anyway, right? You're never going to have the government, American government, all agree on one thing ever, on anything, even saving puppies. There would be disagreements. That's the truth. So it's a mess, Robert, honestly, right? So like, yeah, it's a great point to bring up, but it's a total mess. All right, I guess I need to go quicker on these. Sorry. Does your family watch Vetted? My brother, I think, does. Some of my friends do. My cousin does. One of my cousins do. Super crazy movie geek. Do you think the government is living Bigfoots or other cryptids in captivity? And are these creatures related to UFOs? I have never heard anything like that. As far as having them in captivity, that's actually a fun question, in the sense that I would like to explore that. And are these creatures related to UFOs? Yeah, it's possible. There's lots of stories connecting it, right? That maybe Bigfoot came from another planet, right? They are aliens on here. I don't know. That's interesting. Some people think they're interdimensional beings, pets of the aliens. I've heard lots of different theories on that. I've even heard they fly their own UFOs. So yeah, that's an interesting thread to pull. Logical UAP vetted. What is the most difficult part of creating a community as fast as you have? What is the most rewarding aspect? As fast as I have. Well, to me, it's not fast. I've been podcasting for coming up on 5 years this summer. So for me, it hasn't been fast. Right. Now with vetted, I'm coming up on basically my 1 year anniversary from the very first video I put up on vetted was in June. So it's technically like 1 year. But I didn't start doing the daily videos till Labor Day weekend. But for me, it was a grind every single day. So for me, it didn't happen fast. I put a lot of time in. Right. It's kind of like when an artist blows up and you're like, oh, they came out of nowhere. And they're like, dude, I've been selling mixtapes in Target parking lots for 10 years. You know, it's kind of that scenario. The most rewarding aspect is the community, is the learning and friendships that develop, the networking, people learning together, feeling they're in a place that they can talk about this with other people. Because I know a lot of people feel isolated in their real lives about this topic and not everyone's got someone to talk to. So the idea of creating a place where people, like-minded people, can come and talk openly and freely, but also have different opinions on it. I don't want vetted to ever just become people that are full-on believers in everything and extreme debunker. It's only one or the other. I like a mix of different opinions and thought. Again, the only rule of vetted is don't be disruptive and be respectful, but have your opinion. We should all be allowed to voice our opinion. And the idea that we attack claims, not people, right? We want to attack claims, evidence, proof, not people. So yeah, that's the most rewarding aspect. And doing things like this, I've met so many great people doing this. Daniel's on here with me. He's definitely one of them. I've met so many great people doing this. It's amazing that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So I hope that's happening to other people who follow the show. And I think it maybe grew so fast. And I know a lot of people think that. I don't know. I don't know what the secret sauce is, right? Like, I'm just me. So I don't know. I can't put my finger on it because there was nothing on purpose I did, if that makes sense. I just started doing daily videos and I just made sure I showed up every day. Because that's my mentality from restaurants and cooking, is show up every day and get the shit done. So that's just all I've done. And I think people just found a place to go to and do it, So, but y'all are the most rewarding aspect to all of this.
I've made some great friendships through this community as well, especially through doing the Discord as well. And our mods, they're great people. I love them. So many funny comments.
Yeah.
If sometimes I'm laughing and smirking while you're talking, I'm not laughing at what you're saying. It's actually because I'm smirking at some of the comments. People are just funny.
Okay, because I was offended. I was offended, but I'm not anymore. I'm kidding. Tom Quinn says, my wife says, are you watching that again, Tom? I tell her kindly, I don't miss a day, y'all. I'm Scottish, and you should hear my impression of Patrick in real life. Tom,
I start
oh my God, I would love to hear that impression.
I think I
That
could
would be
do it.
awesome.
I think I can do
That,
adore
yeah, do
Mr.
my
D.
impression of me. Is that no? Try
No, I'm
do
doing
an
a
impression of me though. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, in Scottish.
Oh, in Scottish, yeah.
Adore Mr. D.
I do Mr. D. I love it. I always think of So I Married an Axe Murderer, Mike Myers playing his own father, the Scottish father in Canada. The Kentucky Fried Chicken, the beady little lies. Okay. Love it, Tom. Thanks for supporting us. Yeah. Oh shit, Daniel's snorting, y'all. We got a snorter.
Apologies.
I'm a snorter too. I'm a big snorter. Don't get me laughing. All right, Smokey Two Guns. What a name. What is this? The 1940s in Chicago? I love it. Oh, Smokey Two Guns. Yeah, see? What are your thoughts of having so many different groups working on disclosure? Can too many cooks spoil the soup? Well, great analogy. Yes, there can be too many cooks in the kitchen. The issue is you got to look at it as there are multiple kitchens and chefs running each one of those, or are they all in one kitchen? If you think they're all in one kitchen, then yeah, too many chefs inside. But I feel they're all different kitchens and they all have chefs running them, right? You've got Jeremy Corbell's kitchen and camp, right? He's the head chef, and you got this camp, right? I think that's better, if I'm being honest. Because you got people doing their own things. I think that's a better approach. I used to think, why don't they all hang out? I don't think you'd want that, right? I don't think you'd want that. I think you want many different chefs. Imagine if there was only one restaurant in your city. Right? You'd want multiple different styles out there. So, and because people have different approaches to how they approach this, essentially. So, but I get your point for sure. And to some extent, you're not wrong, right? There are instances where, yeah, too many cooks can spoil the soup for sure. And that's a great question, by the way. Darren says, question, do we contact you offline? No, do not do that. Do not do that. Go to the Discord. You can share anything you want in the resources or anything like that. But please do not contact me with
go to the
information you have. I get it. I get contacted every day by multiple people that tell me they have the answer and the secret and the knowledge and all this stuff. And then they go, no, but I really do. And I'm assuming Darren is like, no, but I really do. I just don't have time, man.
To be seen, though.
I'm not the channel for that. Right. There may be other podcasters who would be all down for that. That's not me. If you want to share it, go to the Discord. You can share everything you have. It has to be public, though. And you got to put your name behind it. Right. Go ahead, Daniel. What were you going to say? Sorry.
That's what I was just going to say. The reason I started that message is because the best place, if you want your stuff seen, is just go to our Discord, discord.gg/vetted. Sign up there. We've got spaces for you to share your experiences, public resources, all sorts of stuff. We've got off topics where you can share memes, whatever. It's fun. It's good. It's a good community.
Absolutely. Well said. And the Discord is kicking ass right now, man. I got to be honest. It's popping. Every day I check it and it is popping all over it really is, right? Like it's popping everywhere. In the debate, you got people debating, you got experiencers
parts now.
Yeah, it's awesome. You got people sharing their experiences and answering questions. You got off-topic stuff. You got the main feed where they're just bringing up anything and talking about different stuff. Each video also has its own thread. So each video I do every day, you can go in and discuss that topic even more. And then that leads to other things. And look, one big thing about the Discord that I will always stand behind, and I know other Discord servers don't allow this or are very weird about it. We allow the members to just post links and stuff to everything, right? Any other shows or things going on. Now, if you're the creator of the show, we have a special place for you even in our Discord server to promote your own stuff, right? So I even allow that in the Discord server. Yeah, we even have a place for you to go promote your own stuff. You got your own channel, your own thing. You're trying to grow. You're trying to do it. Absolutely. We have a place for you to promote it, and people like it, they can go check it out. But I'm very open on that. I allow all links to anything, any resources. So it's a great place to just go find other shows, other videos. You'd be surprised what people put in there. And on top of that, like Daniel, there's so many amazing people in there, super smart, well educated, well researched, have great conversations. You can meet some amazing people in there. And honestly, the Discord would be nothing without them if they weren't there doing that. So shout out to everyone that's in there that has these great conversations. Two off the top of my head, I can think of Radiation King, Deep Thunder. I'm sure I'm missing some. Palsy. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my mind is whatever.
Yeah,
But
they're
there's some great people
definitely at
on
the
there.
top of our.
You know, they just have
They're the
some
most
great
active
conversations,
users.
and it's awesome. So thank you guys, and great question. All right, let's move on here. So I'm getting behind. My bad, y'all. This is what I do. I blab. Question: would you believe the government if they admitted the phenomena is real after all the lies they have told? In other words, what would it take for real disclosure you would believe? Great question, Paul. Those are two great questions, for being honest. Yes, I would believe the government if they came out and said they're real, because they would probably provide something. And that would be a big deal for them to take that step. What would it take? I don't know till I see it. I know that's maybe a cop-out answer, but I don't know till I see it. You know, I won't know till I see it. If they come out, like I said in yesterday's video, if they come out with a flatbed and a UFO on it and can explain, show how it works, yeah, fuck, or an alien being, and doctors, and here's a press conference and it's official and the president's there, yeah, I'm believing that. I'm probably going to believe that. But yeah, would they ever do that? I think they would. I do think they would. Will they? I don't know.
Guys,
But great question. What's up, Daniel?
I was just going to say, if you're wondering if your question hasn't been asked yet, but there's a bit of a list, so it's not going to.
I'm going to go quicker, y'all. Sorry. I apologize. I'm going to go much quicker. Holy shit, 402 comments. Oh my God. Okay, I missed. I'm so sorry, y'all. I start blabbing. Here we go. Metal Sport. Have you looked at David Flynn? Don't know who that is. 2004 Roswell presentation, the Crowdwood Roswell connection. I haven't, Metal Sport, but I'm looking into Roswell. Travis Walton, True Abduction. I don't know. I love Fire in the Sky. Great movie. What do y'all think of Travis Walton? I find his story to be fascinating, and a lot of people, like Ron James, who I've had on, he's really good friends with Travis Walton. He seems to believe him, right? And a lot of people that I've spoke to, they think he's at least gone through something. Like, they do believe. I mean, he's probably at the top of people of their story that is the most believable. So, yeah, and I'm a fan of that film, his story. I find it quite fascinating, and I would one day hope to talk to him, to be honest with you. Okay, David. Patrick, honestly, do you ever just feel like saying this is all BS? I mean, how many delays and excuses and postponements can we deal with? Fuck yeah, I feel like saying it's all BS all the time. Absolutely, I get you. I totally understand you, David. And yes, look, this is a up and down journey for me. That I'm not going to lie. There are days where I'm just like fed up, and I'm like, this is all BS. And then there's other days where I'm more, more like, oh, damn, there's something going on, right? Like, yeah, I'm sure everyone goes through that. Even people who've had personal experiences. I bet there are days that they doubt that experience even happened, right? It's got to be. We're human. So, yeah, but I totally feel everyone's pain, right? Like, I totally feel people's pain. I want to see some shit too, y'all. I'm with you. I want to see some shit too, like real shit. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of some of these. Gonna stay with the short hair or grow it long again? Short. My wife will not let me grow my hair out again. Nor do I want to. I hated it. But I had never done it, so I wanted to do it one time. But no, my wife does not like that. Columbus online auctions. Okay, interesting. Do you think full disclosure could topple the public's faith in organized religion? Do I think it's possible? Yes. Is it probable? I'm in no position to answer that. But yes, it's possible. Have you seen any sign of the Vatican preparing for a potential faith emergency? No, I have not. Nor do I follow the Vatican that closely, to be honest with you. But they are.
That makes some
think
little
they're involved.
amendments and shifts around here. Like they shift the language a little bit to take on extraterrestrials
time.
and aliens and stuff. So I don't think they're in a panic mode.
There you go. Nicholas, would you consider inviting Eric Weinstein? It would be a completely different new thing for Vetted. Fuck yeah. Absolutely. I would love to talk to him. I'm a big fan of his, watched a lot of his interviews. Yes. There's a lot of people. It's just a matter of reaching out, right? And again, Vetted's not an interview channel like some of these other podcasters. I'm a daily content creator where I mix in some interviews that I'm trying to get. But yeah, I definitely would love to talk to Eric. Steven says, Patrick, do you think Luis Elizondo's book in August will have great stuff in it and make us go faster to disclosure? Yeah, actually. I do. Hope that answered it. That was a quick answer. Yeah, I do. I think there's going to be some crazy shit in that book, if I'm being honest. Anon says, was the Tic Tac an ARV? Possible. Absolutely. That just means alien reproduction vehicle. So yeah, absolutely. Totally possible. Do I know for sure? No. But is it possible? Absolutely. Danny, I hope I'm saying that right. Struwig, shout out from South Africa. Shout out. Hello. How we doing? Thank you for watching. Did you see the interview with Dr. Brown at Good Trouble Show last night? And your thoughts about that discussion about his new view of the Nazca mummies? Yeah, like I said with the mummy thing before, absolutely. There's new information out. I am going to be covering it. I'm just figuring out exactly how to tackle it because I basically just want to bring all the information that's been out up to date now, right to now, and present, again, both sides of this. But yes, I saw parts of that interview with Dr. Brown. Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm interested, right? I've not shut the book on the mummies, me personally. You do what you want. But me personally, I've not shut the book on that. Tony says, hey, Patrick, love the podcast. Thank you. Love you, Tony. What are your thoughts on what is going on at Skinwalker Ranch? I would love to go and find out. And shit, I forgot, actually. I'm pretty sure I got an interview with Brandon Frugal coming up here.
Yeah,
in a couple weeks, sometime. I forget. It's happening soon. Dr. Dan, I don't know if he's watching. He's supposed to be helping with that. I think that's happening. I'm not entirely sure. I'll need to follow up with that and see what's going on there. But that's supposed to happen. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, that's also one of my guilty pleasures. Is I'll watch Skinwalker Ranch and that show, and I mean it's well produced. So yeah, I'll watch it. But yeah, it's interesting. It's got a lot of history. I would love to personally go and see some things. If I'm being honest, I would. Darren, question: would you like to do a live stream discussing this UFO technology that we're developing and the free energy systems that we found due to the discovery from the pyramid? Huh? I don't know what that means, Darren. Again, go to the Discord.
That's a question.
Have you any interest in interviewing Fife Symington, former governor of Arizona, in relation to the Phoenix Lights? Yeah, of course. I won't be doing it for this video coming out on the 4th, but I would. I would, 100%. Silver Saucer, do you have any theories on the large red spheres seen by James, Chris Bledsoe, seen over nuclear sites and being called Foo Fighters? Spheres seen by James. James who? Are you talking about James Iandoli? I don't have any theories, but that connection between these sites and the orbs and UFOs in general is interesting. And that whole theory behind it, the atomic age, Jesse Michaels has covered that extensively on his channel through some videos. Yeah, I find that fascinating, the history of that. And potentially, like Grush has said, that some of that, at least in America, that some of the security protocols were used, right, sort of as an umbrella to put the UFOs under too. And in fact, potentially what they say is even one level above that. And that is the most secure thing we protect, our nuclear weapons. So yeah, that's interesting for sure. All right, Tom says, what caused Dr. Greer to split from others? Why the distrust? It's a lot of Honestly, it's a lot of behind the scenes drama. That's what I've heard. Just a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Nothing to do with aliens or UFOs. Just humans not getting along. People feeling slighted. People feeling let down. People, I mean, Dr. Greer's come out and attacked Luis Elizondo publicly, right? And said he's a disinformation agent, all these different things. So I think it's just a lot of personal stuff. It has nothing to do with UFOs and aliens. I wish it didn't happen, to be honest. Do you think Steven Spielberg's new UFO movie will be at least partially based on or inspired by the real world fight for disclosure? Yes, I do. And I hope it's that, if I'm being honest. I really do. I hope it's that. If you check out my interview with Christian Harloff that I did, we spoke in depth about that. So check out that interview and you'll hear more about my thoughts on that. Jacobite. Am I saying that right? How would you say that? Jacobite? Jacobite. Jacobite? I don't know.
Jacobite.
Jacobite. Jacobite. I don't know. I'm saying it in Spanish. Jacobite. I don't know. What do you think of the Calvine UFO photo? Look, I'm not going to lie. Hearing some of the, it's actually just like a rock protruding from the water, and that's a rowboat, not an airplane in the sky. I gotta admit, that's interesting. So I don't know. I'm up in the air on that photo now, if I'm being honest. Tom Quinn, such a divisive community, don't you find? Yeah. Only if you let it. Only if you let it. And look, every community has this sort of angle to it. Any community you get into, gaming, sports, politics, whatever it is, So yeah, can it be? Absolutely. Just stay off Twitter and hang out in, this Discord servers you trust and things like that. That's the best way I would recommend doing it. And even Twitter, if you just block certain, I don't know. Each their own.
And Twitter's pretty gutter. It is. Sorry.
It can't. Yeah. Look, I'm off. I don't hang out on there. So yeah. Nicholas, there was a question on Discord. There was mine too, but it seems like you're a guitarist. Bro wanted to know when and if you're going to play something live. I'm also one. Greetings. I wouldn't say I'm a guitarist, but I play guitar. I have since I'm like 17 or 18. I taught myself. And I've been in a few bands. I've recorded lots of music. I enjoy music. I enjoy the creation of a song. But I'm no way a great guitarist. But yeah, can I play it along and write something? Yeah, for sure. Would I ever do something live? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, we'll just put it at maybe.
Nice super chat there.
Okay. What do you think of the 2 X-Files movies? Love the first one. That first X-Files movie is awesome. Oh my God, it's such a good film. I love that film. Okay, let me go to this super chat first here. Laban Ahmed, thank you, brother. I wish you could interview Luis Elizondo. Me too. And I bet it'll happen. I really do. I bet it's going to happen once his book is out and he's doing the tour. I mean, VETTED's a big community. We reach a lot of people in the UFO community that other channels just do not. I mean, it is what it is, right? VETTED has grown. It is big, and it's y'all to thank for it. So yeah, I think Lou will come on just for that sense that it does get to a lot of people. Love us or hate us, we get out to a lot of people. So great comment, brother. Thank you. And thank you for the super chat, brother. Scott Brown says, Patrick, do you know who Dr. Harley Rutledge was? You should do an episode on him. I don't. You know who that is, Daniel?
I don't think so. I was wondering if you would, so I started that, but
Dr. Harley Rutledge. Yeah, me neither. I just never heard of him. So but I would do an episode. It's interesting. I don't know. Just would need to know who he is. What's up, Jamil? I saying that right, Jamil? Am I saying that right?
That's
Or
how I'd say it.
Jamil? Jamil or Jamil? What are your thoughts on
Jamil.
David Paulides and the missing 411 phenomenon involving UFOs? I think it's so intriguing. Something's going on. What do you think it is, Vetted? Daniel? You take this one, Daniel. I've been answering all the questions.
Look, I don't know about this particular thing, but I do know about the missing 411 cases are pretty fascinating. Like
I agree.
How did I get onto it? Was through Mr. Bolin, you know, John Allen, that guy that does and so he was the guy I didn't know, and so I still probably could learn a bit more about 411, to be honest. I don't know this particular topic, this particular story. Sorry, Jamil. But I thought it was all about missing people. I didn't know they had UFO stuff in there, to be fair. So that's kind of made me want to go looking now.
I agree.
So yeah,
I think it should be like one of our monthly cases, Jamil. So that's a great question. Like
because
going over this because it's fascinating.
The 411 stories are not like, from what I understand, they're not like nonsense. They're proper.
Oh, there's some
based on
real
proper
shit.
stuff.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
some real
yeah.
shit. It's quite fascinating. I agree, and that would be cool to look into. Great question, brother. Andre, what's up, brother? So glad Andre's here. Does the government have to tell it all, or will explaining and admitting just one event is enough? That's actually a great question, Andre. That actually is a great question because, yeah, is that the deal? Is it just one thing that like Roswell, they just finally come out and say, yep, Roswell happened, but we don't learn about any of the other stuff, the Tic Tac and all these other events. That's a great point. Look, no matter what the government reveals or doesn't reveal, people are going to be pissed off. It will never be enough for some people, and it will be too much for others. Right. In the sense of, dude, we don't need to be covering this. Is too much. I don't believe in this shit. Right. So there's always going to be both sides. Even if they came out and said Roswell was real, you're going to be like, well, what about these other cases? And even if they say, no, this is everything we have about everything, we'll always be like, nah, I don't think so. There's more stuff. Because what about this guy's story? That's the problem is right now, there are so many stories out there in the UFO community that have been told over decades. They're not all real. There are people out there who have lied and lied for decades. And they're in the UFO community and they're public figures. The problem is, I don't know who's who. It's impossible because there's no proof or evidence. So you just have stories. But one day, if the government does come out with stuff, you'll find out who's fucking bullshitting. Right? Now, who these people are, I don't know. That's up for you to decide at the end of the day. Don't let anybody tell you who to believe or not believe. Decide for yourself. That's one thing I would recommend to you in this. Decide for yourself. All right. I do my best here, and the mods, Daniel, everybody, to present the most information we can and provide a platform to do that. Right. So just decide for yourself. But yeah, that's a great question, Andre, and a great discussion to have. So I'd be curious what this would be a good discussion to take over to Discord and talk about this. Yeah, that's a great question, dude. Yes, I'm talking about. The vetted community brings all the good shit. You guys bring great questions, great dialogue, great discussions. I love it. Fantamos. Fanta. If you received a piece of alien tech in the mail, who would you trust to analyze it, not steal it? If I got a piece of alien tech in the mail, I would be pissed off. But why the fuck did you send it through the mail? So I wouldn't believe it. No offense. I'd probably throw it away immediately. So I don't want it. Do not send me anything. There's plenty of other people who want to be in on the know and have, sources inside the intelligence community and all that. Let them do that shit. Let those podcast hosts and YouTube creators that want to do that shit, let them do that. That's not me. I'm not getting involved in that shit. Because you know what happens? They'll start to leverage shit on you. I stay independent, y'all. I'm on an island out here. Nobody can fuck with us here at Vetted. Pardon my language. I'm sorry. I'm cursing a lot. I'm so sorry. No one can mess with us because I don't get involved in these things. I turn down all these invitations for these secret things. And I just say no. So if somebody sent me alien tech, I would throw it away. I wouldn't trust anyone to analyze it and not steal it. I guess just let's separate that hypothetically to help answer his question, because this is a good question. Hypothetically speaking, if it was secure, whatever, who would I want to analyze this? Honestly, let's be real. I would take it to someone completely outside the UFO community. Has nothing to do with it. That's who I would want to look
in
at
a
this.
different country.
Potentially, yeah, exactly. Someone that just,
Like
no offense to Dr. Gary Nolan and this person and that, right? Like, no offense, but I would just completely take it to someone outside of this. Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
I kind of feel like the only way you could do this is if you like personally knew someone with access to the like lab, like control over the lab, and that could do that, because otherwise
some
it's just, there's so many
microbiologists.
different ways it could be intercepted.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I do know some people. It's possible I'd reach out to some people that I know, and they're definitely not involved in the UFO community. But yeah, I would want someone outside the UFO community to study this stuff.
Yeah.
If I really thought it was something, just to make sure, and then move it into the UFO community. But with that said, do not send me anything or try to or whatever. First of all, my address isn't out there, and any address that has been shared, people have tried to dox me on Twitter, which is why I don't like Twitter. That's not even my address. They got it wrong. Keith, Vetted, have you looked into Project Bluebeam? Just curious. Remind me again what that is. Do you know, Daniel? I have,
Project Bluebeam is where they want to beam images into the sky of the second coming to bring about a global power and dynamic, I guess. Where the like Project Bluebeam is where, so like
a fake alien invasion style thing,
holography of like alien invasions, or the Mary, or
religious figures. Oh, interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of the thinking back in the day, that they would try and use that to sort of, it's like for mass hysteria or mass control, sort of conspiracy theory. Okay. It's one of the old school conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I had that confused with something else, so I have not looked into that. But
maybe
that is very curious. I don't know. Well, either if it's what you said, that's interesting. I have heard some stuff about that, but
yeah, a lot of the more elaborate things that you'll see in the sky and footage and stuff, they'll say this is Bluebeam, and the more and more advanced it gets, it's like, well, Bluebeam's just ramping up. They're getting ready. They're about to drop it. So I see that a lot.
All right. Jim, most important question: Beatles or the Stones? Oh my God, my apologies. I mean, if I just have to choose one, that's an easy one for me, the Beatles. But I love the Stones too. But yeah, the Beatles. I grew up on the Beatles. My dad was a huge fan of the Beatles. I'm a huge fan of the Beatles. The greatest songwriters ever compiled together, in my opinion. My father passed away at his wake, where we had everyone there. I sang Yesterday. My dad loved I love the Beatles. It has a very special connection to me, actually. So yeah, love the Beatles. But dude, I love the Stones. Who doesn't? Chris, after that initial disclosure, what aspects of the revelation were the media and YouTubers most intensely scrutinize and discuss? What other questions need to be asked after initial disclosure? Dude, those are great questions, bro. Chris, great job, man. That's very, very good questions. That's interesting. Well, look, I'm going to treat your question with the same thought that you gave it to ask me, which is, it depends what the revelation is, right? So it depends what exactly is revealed that the media and YouTubers will intensely scrutinize and discuss. But let's be real. If we're talking about, for the most part, they're going to pick the things that is the most sensational, right? And they're gonna cover the things that is the most clicky and gets around. Now, within that, the discussion may bottleneck into something else, right? They get you to click on something and bring you in. And I sort of take that approach too. I can be very clickbaity with my thumbnails and titles sometimes. I get it. But I'm also trying to bring people in. I got to get people to click on it. But once they're in, it's like, oh, this is a great show. Right. So what could happen there? Again, it just depends what the revelation is. I can't really give an exact answer on that. That would be disingenuous of me to say. But will they go after some stuff? Yeah, of course. Right. It depends how big the revelation is. To go back to that other question, which was if they just showed us one thing, right? They told us Roswell was real, but they didn't reveal anything else. We would want to know more, right? So it just depends. And what other questions need to be asked after initial disclosure? It just depends what that initial disclosure is. But definitely other questions would need to be asked. This is a great thought and discussion to have, Chris. I love this. This is another thing to take to Discord and expand upon. Great question. Rhys Jones, hope I'm saying that right. Do you think we will get James Fox? Reese, sorry, Reese. Do you think we will get James Fox's doc this month? No, definitely not. Definitely not this month. This year, I believe, but not this month. Not even before the end of the summer, in my opinion. I know it was supposed to, but remember, he had to push it back a month. That's a long time. Because he had 2 more people come forward and he wanted to include them in the film. And then that just, if you've ever edited, you know what that does. You didn't have to move everything around. It's like a whole process. So no, I don't think it's going to come out this month. Patrick, if you had to host a dinner party for an alien, what would be on your menu? I like this. Well, as I used to make many menus and design many menus, the first thing I would start with is how many people are coming? What's the space like? What's the seating going to be like? What time of day is it? What's in season? And what kind of event, right? Are they coming for dinner or are they coming for hors d'oeuvres? Right? Is this a little happy hour party? Because I'm gonna present something different, right? All of that. So I would just need more details to actually answer that. I know that's a cop out, but I'm a real chef. You asked a real chef, so that's the reality. I would need to know all of that before I could even begin to put together a menu, because making a menu is telling a story, and making a menu is being able to give someone the best you got and present it in a way. That's why I like courses, right? Present it in a way to tell the story that I want to tell. So I would tell a story with them, but I'd find out, do they have any allergies? First of all, that's the first question you ask. Do we got any allergies I got to worry about? And it's like, well, we're gluten-free. I don't think aliens eat gluten, guys. I don't know. I don't know what their allergies would be. But look, let's take the chef out of it and just answer it more fun from a human standpoint. You'd want to present something to aliens that sort of represents humanity, right? Food that represents humanity. So you might do something like what could be interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. I've never done this on a menu, and this would be great for a chef to do. So instead, normally courses are all within one playing field, and then they lay out courses, meaning if you go to fine dining place, you're going to get a 10-course meal that's all fine dining, right? But if I go to this other place, it's going to be that, right? So what if you did this? What if the first course was like fast food? Then the second course was a little bit up from that. And then the third course, right? Does that make sense? And you present to these aliens all the different levels of food that we have to them. That could be interesting. So I hope that answers your question. I took too long on that. I'm sorry.
Derek,
I love food questions, y'all. What? What'd they say?
Derek says Vegemite on toast.
Yeah, Vegemite on toast. I love it. Vegemite. I've never tried it.
That's never come back. It's great. I love it.
They leave and never come back.
Yeah.
What if we just served up other humans to them? They're like, yes.
That's representative.
Yeah. We Lift Nation. My question is, when an when on October did Danny Sheehan talk about a big disclosure, something big in October? What day specific? I believe the 18th. Yeah, the 18th. I could be wrong, but it's the 18th or somewhere right around that. Chiefy.
I think that's right.
Hi, Patrick. If you could see one thing happen in the next 12 months to get us further in the question of UAP, what would that be? Cheers. Dude, great question. You guys are good. You guys ask some really good questions. Well, you know what? Daniel, give me a break here. What do you think? Yeah, help me answer this. I know it's for me, but for you too. What do you think? We could see one thing happen in the next 12 months. Aside from like absolute disclosure, right? Assuming that isn't coming.
We need to see. I know people don't. There needs to be some sort of. I mean, one thing that could happen. Either some sort of. No, every time I think of what would move it, it kind of has already been tried recently and didn't move it. Like, there's been talking in government government hearings. Would another one of them do anything? I don't think so. Anything short of some footage, then I think of the jellyfish thing, and that didn't move it, and I was like, ugh. Well, although it did get people talking again, so like I don't know. I think it's so difficult.
Here's what I would say:
difficult. Maybe an artifact,
a public hearing with firsthand people that have touched the crowd. I think I even talked about that in yesterday's video, right? And that's what Danny's saying as well. So if I could see one thing happen in the next 12 months, that's what it would be: a hearing with firsthand people who have touched this craft, they work in the program, and they bring receipts. That would be amazing.
Look, I know people say the government's position on this is largely irrelevant at this point because people are doing their own personal stuff. I still do think, although the personal disclosure is one aspect that is sort of real, like the government acknowledgement is important, because once that occurs, then laws and allowances can be made in day-to-day lives that actually make it reality for us, and the veil can be lifted and those sorts of things.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I've missed starring a bunch of comments here. I got to check through.
Don't worry about it. All right. Great question, by the way, Chiefy. Gem Girl, what's up? Great to have you here. Thank you for joining. What would be that one piece of evidence that would give you full disclosure? A UFO or an alien. That's it. Nothing else. Again, my analogy of the food yesterday. Don't give me another fork. Don't give me another bread plate. Don't give me another wine glass. Don't give me another napkin. You know what I mean? Don't turn the music down and fix the AC and another drink from the bar. And nothing's going to fill my stomach except the food that I ordered. So for me, it's the same thing. Eye on the ball. Alien or UFO. That's it for me. Because that's what we're talking about. Andy Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, what's up, brother? Vetted. Preston Dennett has tons of stories. Has he been on here? He has not been on here. And I guess your follow-up question would be, would you have him on? Sure. But no, he has not been on. Is it alien, dimensional, spiritual, or all of the above? I've flipped my opinion annually. What's your thoughts? Yeah, look, I get you. It could be all of it. Could be one, could be multiple. Until we know, it's all a possibility. You hear stories that fall in line with everything you put, right? Extraterrestrial, coming from another planet. Yep, heard stories like that. Interdimensional. Yep, heard those too. Right? Intratemporal, as Dr. Michael Masters call it, right? Time travel. We've heard that too. Spiritual. We've heard that too. I'm sorry if y'all can hear people. My yard is being worked on. So if you hear some, that's what's happening. I can't stop it. Okay, well, just it's all I can hear. Jesus Christ. They'll be gone soon from over here. Anyway, yeah, all of these things are brought up. The stories that fit all of this. So I'm with you. I'm open to it all. You hear stories that kind of accompany all of these different threads, and you hear a lot of other theories, right? I mean, don't forget, guys, I've got the best theory out there. Digital aliens. I'm just kidding. That is my theory, y'all. That's the vetted. That's my personal. That's not the vetted theory, but that's my personal. I really truly believe we abandon the physical body and we move into another realm. Fuck the physical world here. Fuck little UFOs and that's bullshit. Why would I be in that? Who cares? I'm in the digital realm now, a whole nother universe. Anyway, I'm gonna write a book. Digital aliens, you know, it's gonna come out. Nobody's getting behind it. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't get behind that. I'm kidding. What do you think of Chris Bledsoe? Could you do a video on him? I've covered him quite a bit on the channel. Tim Taylor and all that stuff. So look, go to, you know, if you go to Vetted's YouTube channel and you search, just put in Tim Taylor, you'll see all the Chris Bledsoe stuff that I've covered. Now, again, it's more about Tim Taylor, but I have covered Chris Bledsoe. So yeah, I've done lots of videos on him, different interviews he's done. I tried to get him on the podcast, so I'm still trying, you know, so we'll see. But yeah, absolutely. Brian Schwartz, may the Schwartz be with you, Brian. Opinion of David Icke and simulation theory. Yeah, man. I love that theory. Again, it kind of goes in line with my digital aliens a little bit. There's some similarities. Yes, I love that theory, if I'm being honest. It's kind of hard to argue.
You familiar
when you hear Elon Musk? Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry,
I'm interrupting your answer, but I think goes specifically to David Icke's simulation theory, and I'm not sure if that has any particular distinction from the other simulation theories. David, are you familiar with David Icke's?
Yeah, it's all the same, dude. It's all the same.
Okay,
it's all the same as far as I'm concerned. Everything I've seen, basically the same. Yeah, there might be some different details, but you know, the idea we're in a simulation. What else is there to the theory, right? Look, you know, I heard Elon Musk say this one time. It's always stuck with me. Just mathematically speaking, right? If you assume that you know, humanity would continue to advance like we're advancing, we would eventually reach those capabilities to create a simulation, blah, 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 right? So then you have to start imagining there would be millions and billions of them. What are the odds we're in the actual reality, the one actual reality, right? The base reality, that becomes then statistically not likely, right? That statistically speaking, we would be in a simulation. But that's assuming the first part, meaning that humanity advances to that point, right? But just following what we do now, we create simulations now in video games, movies, right? Different things, whatever, right? So I don't know. It's interesting, though. I do find it fascinating. All right, Robert. Patrick, how many more whistleblowers do you think it would take to break open disclosure? You feel we're close to that? Look, the only whistleblowers that matter are firsthand. That's it. Anything else will just continue to add to it, right? All the other whistleblowers is like all that bread they bring you at a dinner where you're like, okay, the free bread they keep bringing, right? You're like, great, nice. Okay, this is great, but I don't want to fill up on bread. I want the meal I order, right? Yeah, and that's basically it. We that anything other than firsthand touch the craft, it's not, you know. So you could bring 1,000 second, third hand whistleblowers. It's not going to, in my opinion, really change much. You got to really bring out those people who have touched the craft. Sir Gambit, hi guys from Nottinghamshire. Hope I'm saying that right. UK. In your opinion, Patrick, regarding full disclosure, how much longer should we wait for the truth before we have to be honest and feel that this is drag? What do you think, Daniel?
Look, I guess the question is, how long do we continue listening to the topic before we tune out? Is that maybe the question? That's how I'm reading it. I think a lot of people actually have, but like there's so many other people that haven't as well. Like, because it's sort of, I'll tell you how I personally go with it. Like, I desperately want so much of it to be true and I get despondent and apathetic and tune out for a good chunk of the year, and then something will catch my attention, and then I'll be like all interested again for another few months, and then I'll slowly fade back into sort of being like, "Ugh." So it's really a bit of a roller coaster, and that makes it difficult for me to say where I actually do sit on the whole belief spectrum. But I am at a point now on my journey with it where I really do need something tangible. I need something tangible before I can start really investing a lot of emotion. And I mean, it's never a bad thing to think about, and it's always going to inspire amazing thought experiments and great fun conversations that can still have utility. But yeah, in terms of going, yeah, I know this is true, this is a real thing. No, I'm not. I'm not sure if I even answered that question
Oh,
properly.
well,
Do you think?
hopefully you did. Next one. Sorry, guys, we got a lot to move through. I think they did great. Christos. I just gonna stop there. I don't want to butcher your last name. Probably Greek, right? It looks like a Greek name. Do you know anything about the black programs of Lockheed Martin Skunk Works? If so, do you happen to know any person who works there? We would really like the whistleblowers to step into the light. I don't know anybody that works there. I mean, I know about the black programs of Lockheed, just what y'all know, or whoever has looked into that, right? Like the basic stuff, yeah. But there's a lot we don't know, right? Because it's a black program, so there's only so much to know. But no, I don't know anybody that works there. That's probably the more important part of that. We would really like the whistleblowers to step into the light. I'm with you. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Andre Wright says, you are boss head chef of this wild kitchen. Thank you, Andre. I take that very seriously. Thank you so much. Heard, as we would say in the kitchen. Rob says, what's your opinion on the Foo Fighter phenomenon? I've met a lot of folk along the East Coast and Caribbean who seem to accept it as a natural part of life, which I find bizarre. That's interesting. Yeah, I think if you're around something enough, like the Marfa Lights, for instance, in Texas, it's a phenomenon called the Marfa Lights. And if you're out in Marfa, which is West Texas, in the middle of nowhere, I'm talking middle of nowhere, Texas, no light pollution. There's a city right before Marfa called Alpine, and people will park there along the side of the road. Well, people park many different places, and look out on this little mountain that's out there, one of the few that Texas has, and see these lights. Now, there's many theories. Some people say it's just the headlights from different cars far away. Other people think it's something else, right? So I don't know. But it becomes part of everyday life, right? You ask someone in Alpine, they're just like, yeah, the Marfa Lights. They don't question it or think about it anymore, right? Just like a local folklore, right? It becomes part of daily life, and you just accept it. Because what else are you going to do? Not accept it, right? Like there is no option. You just, yeah, that happens. These things happen. You don't know what it is. Something. It's not affecting your. If it's not affecting you getting to work and paying your bills, you're pretty much going to stop. You know what I mean? You're just going to go with it. So that is fascinating. Yeah, the Foo Fighter phenomena is fascinating. I completely agree. I find that absolutely fascinating. So I hope that answered your question, Rob. Great question, by the way. Nitrous addiction. Wow. You need to take care of that, brother. Do not have an addiction to nitrous. Or I take that back. I see your little profile pic. You're just into cars, fast cars. Awesome. Pat, have you seen or heard of Project Gravatar with Bob Lazar? Yeah, I've been waiting for all of this to come out in the documentary and these things. So yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. Your thoughts on it? Yeah, again, I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Seems cool. It's supposed to be some VR thing too, where you can, where they've laid out the entire area where Bob Lazar worked. Yeah, fuck yeah, I want to see that. Pardon my language. Pardon my language, but fuck yeah, I want to see that. That sounds awesome. Doesn't have anything to do with whether or not it's true or not. I don't care. Yeah, it would be cool. So yeah, absolutely. I'm in. What do you think, Nitrous? What are you interested in it? I'd be curious to know. Let me know. Christos, how will disclosure proceed? Will disclosure proceed in catastrophic form or in a controlled form? I'm gonna do this. If anyone's ever seen the show Friends, bring your hands together, Christos. It's gonna be both. It's gonna be both. Bring your hands together. Yeah, catastrophic, controlled. Bring your hands together and make the V, the upside down V, vetted. Or this. Is this it? What do we need to do, Daniel? We need gang signs.
Yeah, we'll do that. That works.
Is that what we're doing? We need vetted gang signs. You know what I mean? I better be careful on here doing that shit. Yeah. The spot, the V, baby, the V. Let's go.
You're just tuning in now.
Yeah. That's funny. Tony says, how accurate a depiction of the restaurant industry is the TV show The Bear? Oh, wow. Great question, Tony. I get asked this a lot, actually, by like my friends and stuff, especially when the show came out. My friends that aren't in the industry. Look, everything's got to be, they got to add an entertainment value to anything, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it's like a 7 or 8 in there. There's a lot of details in the background that are fucking spot on. A lot of terms they use, things. Where they go overboard is a little bit of the screaming and the cursing. That stuff does happen, but not the way they show it. Like there's certain things where like they just add it to the show, But there's a lot of realistic parts to it for sure, But there's a lot that's not. It's kind of, again, and it's going to be hard for you as a viewer unless you know what that is. But a lot of the details, stuff in the background, knives, terms, clothing, setup, plating, all spot on. Tone of the kitchen, like what's happening. Like there's one episode about like opening night of their new restaurant and stuff. It's pretty much accurate except for how the sous chef is handling the pass, which is where all the food comes, because he's yelling at everybody and like, fuck this and get ready and fuck it. You would never do that. You want to calm the kitchen down. You want people, in the zone. You're not trying to, that's old Gordon Ramsay shit. That shit just doesn't happen anymore. So you want to be more calm and keep the kitchen lively and in a good mood.
Gordon Ramsay.
But great question, Tony. And thank you for the super chat, brother. But at a great show, definitely pretty accurate. Definitely the most accurate food show out there. And I don't watch it because it like gives me PTSD. And a lot of chefs don't watch shows like that. Costas, Patrick, what do you think would be the consequences of disclosure? I'm not referring to the ontological shock, but rather to show how this revelation would impact the daily lives of everyone. Great question. That's tough to answer because everybody's daily life is different. What they do in their daily life, right? So how would it affect them? I think it would be a personal. Everyone would just personally treat it, it would affect everyone completely different. That's what I would say. Just completely different. Because you're going to do with that information what you will. Right. And actually, that would be interesting to know how it would affect everyone, their daily lives. Right. Depends how stressful your daily life is. You working 3 jobs, you're struggling to take care of kids,
I try to think of what this kind of question before, and I just cannot imagine what way it would go, to be fair.
It'd be crazy.
It's
unpredictable.
There's no other thing that I could, it's so far removed from any other like similar reference.
Yeah.
That it's not built in my brain to compute that pathway, I just don't know. Have to wait and see.
It would probably be gradual in the sense that, let's say when humanity found out the earth was round and that we weren't the center of space, just them finding out space exists, right? What kind of reality shift did that change? It took a long time for that to become widely accepted. What about when we found out there's a microscopic world? We didn't know that before.
Well, that changed everything, didn't it?
Right. But did it?
But slowly over time.
Did did John in London when he found out in 1812, whenever this was, like, oh, hey, my God, my life is different now. No, you know what I mean? It's
No.
like, and how long did that take to get around? Now, granted, our media is different, and also I apologize for that horrific British accent I just did. But if you get my point, like, there's revelations now. Think about this. Humanity got bored of us landing on the moon. People stopped tuning into those programs of us landing on the moon. You know what I mean? Once it got to like
Yeah, you mean by
Apollo,
the end of the
whatever,
Apollo?
yeah,
Yeah.
people were just like, nobody was watching that. But we were literally landing on another terrestrial rock out in space, you know, and we just
Yeah.
started. It's not like we've been doing it for hundreds of years. So that should tell you everything you need to know about humanity, right? Like, unless it shows up on the Kardashians, I don't think people are going to give a fuck, which is sad.
It's sad. It's true, though.
Yeah. So, Anonymous Patrick, if we were actively shooting these things down, what kind of message is that sending the NHI? I agree. I agree. What kind of message is that sending the NHI? Not a good one. So, great question. I agree. I'd love to discuss that more too. And that's actually a question I'm going to ask Danny Sheehan. So, great question, brother. I agree. All right, I gotta run through these a little quicker here. Daniel, what is better, Marmite or Vegemite, and why? Take it away.
Vegemite, it is an objective fact because it's for breakfast of champions. I don't know. Listen, I think Marmite is too sweet. Something about it. It's not my bag.
Okay.
Very important question though.
I agree. I agree. Guys, we are answering the important questions here today. Okay. Anonymous again, do you think it was the US technology that made MH370 disappear? I don't know. But look, I'll drop a little bomb right here for you guys. Haven't said it yet. Tomorrow night, I'm interviewing Ashton Forbes again. And I'll be putting that episode up probably Wednesday. So just because, right, he covers MH370. Now, granted, we're not really going to be talking about that. We'll be talking about something new. He's into the free energy thing, which I'm excited to learn about. So I don't know much about it. But yes, is it possible that it was U.S. technology? Yeah, that's what he thinks. He's absolutely convinced, and a lot of people are. So yeah, totally possible. Phantomos again, Patrick and Daniel. You think UFOs will start masking into weather balloons just to mess with us? Daniel, real quick, I'm gonna take a bathroom break. You take this question. I'll be right back.
I thought this was a funny question, and I really wondered, like, imagine if they were doing that this whole time, and then every time they turn around and said that was just a weather balloon, and then it turned out to actually just be them the whole time. But look, if they wanted to do like a covert sort of infiltration of Earth, that would be the way to do it, wouldn't it? Cloak yourself as, because I think it would probably be easy, unless you're coming down in like heaps and heaps of numbers. If you were just coming down a few little reconnaissance vehicles, send them down and make it look like a weather balloon or like like just a regular aircraft. That's what I'd do. Yeah, I guess. Does that answer the question? So, Patrick, do you think US will start masking in weather balloons just to mess with us? Yeah. So, who knows? It might be now. I agree. I think that'd be hilarious. What is the next one? What is your definition of a first-hand whistleblower? Just curious. I think there's an objective one. People just use different alternatives for different reasons. I'm going to leave this up until Patrick comes back. But my thing is, you look at the people that are forced into exile over the revelations that they've made, like Snowden, Assange, other people like that. I think that is evident of how real the stuff is that they're saying. I get wary of people in the intelligence community coming forward without tangible evidence attached, especially if they say they're secondhand and they're not the people who
experience the actual thing, I think that would qualify. That for me is my personal qualifier for a first-hand whistleblower. I mean, what does that mean? First-hand? Should I look it up? It'll kill some time while Patrick's doing this thing. First-hand definition. Coming from the original source or personal experience, gained or learned directly. Suppose you could stretch that to cover a second person relaying that information, but then that would be, but by those standards, we'd all become first-hand witnesses the moment he says it. So no, I think you really have to be the one. And so for me, that excludes people like Grush, and similar. Sorry, I need to go back through, and I'm going to leave this up so Patrick doesn't miss the question, but I don't want to miss it because I'm trying to read through, star them, and answer things as well. So it's a little bit tricky for my munted brain here at 4:45 a.m. in Sydney. There's some fun questions here, though. As long as actually, maybe I could. Oh, geez, how do you feel? How do you feel the dead air, guys? There's a lot of pressure here. It's not my podcast. Let's just go to the next question. I'll leave that. I'll come back to it. I'll leave it starred. Why don't you get Gary McKinnon on the show? He was one of the first. But Gary McKinnon is such an interesting guy, isn't he? He's been. So he was the guy who hacked into NASA, right, and spoke of the off-world space fleet. And then he's free now, but is unable to travel into the United States and things like that, as far as I understand. That would be a really interesting story to bring back up, in my opinion. Geez, I wonder if Patrick fell in. Might not be. Geez, there's so many new comments here. You guys are very, very chatty community. I love that. Hold a sec. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything here. I'll start that one. You're Clancy.
All right, I'm back. I had to make coffee too.
All right, bro. You missed the most awkward moment, but it's cool. I held the roof on. I'm going to go back to the original question because I answered a couple in your absence, but
yeah, no worries.
I left them starred. Oh well,
what
I just
what is
thought
the definition
I
of
would
a worst-hand whistleblower? Look, many different definitions here, right? And even firsthand. But for me, the kind of first-hand whistleblowers we need are the kind that actually touched the craft or dealt with an alien firsthand, not saw a picture of something. Does that make sense? Because that is considered firsthand too. So, and technically you could argue it is. But yeah, for me, people actually touched it. But yeah, it's a great question. All right, what is this the next one? Why don't you get Gary McKinnon on the show? Yeah, he would be cool. He's an interesting dude. He's got an interesting story. So yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, let's go through this quick, man. Let's say it's the year 2027 and aliens come out and say, hey, yeah, we exist. We are here, but we don't care about you humans. How would you guys feel about that reality? Well, not good. Not good. Not good at all. I would say, what do you mean you don't care about us humans? Have you seen the Kardashian show? I'm just kidding. I would say, I don't know, right? Like, yeah, I would say, well, you need to care about us. I guess we go to war. I don't know. Like, would we try to convince them? Would we have like a little America's Got Talent, like Earth's Got Talent, and we bring all the people up that like can prove to the aliens that we should be here? And there's 3 judges there, like hitting the buttons, allowing different parts of humanity to stay. Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting
their version of it.
Yeah, their version of it. Yeah, we get zapped away if you screw up.
I can think of it.
It's like you get voted off of Earth. It's like Survivor, but the whole Earth, you're just voted off Earth. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that reality would suck. And that, to be fair, not to scare anybody, but it's technically a possibility. if we're assuming this
yikes.
stuff, right? So, Legend with the super chat. Thank you, Legend. You rock, man. This show rocks. Love Vetted, Patrick and the mods. Go Seattle Mariners. You excited for Deadpool and Wolverine? Yes, I am. I cannot wait to see that. That's going to be sick. Yeah, I cannot wait for that. Thank you, Legend, so much. Really appreciate the support. Appreciate all the support today, man. Just hanging out with us, talking, chatting. This is what it's about, y'all. Just chatting, open conversation, discussing these things. So, yeah, go Seattle Mariners. Let's go, baby. Even though I'm a Rangers fan, I'm going to give it to you because I don't care about baseball. No offense. But thank you, Legend. You rock, brother. Ross Illusion. Many say full disclosure would cause chaos and societal collapse. What if that is the one thing that can actually unite humanity? Reagan asks at the UN. Might be time to answer it. Could be. Absolutely. Could that be the one thing that would unite humanity? You would hope so. You would hope so, right? That would be the thing.
That would have the magnitude. I would estimate that something like that would have the magnitude. If anything would, that would be one of the things.
But look, humans are always going to fight, no matter what.
Yeah.
No, because we would fight over how to unite against them.
Well, people say that's based on our current state of evolution. People say we can evolve past that. That's an interesting notion.
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Not at all. Do you see the video of the alleged real moon astronaut that brought explosives and maybe killed an alien? What? No, I haven't. Metal Spork. Oh, this guy. Oh, okay. No. Jesus. No offense, dude. That guy's trolling us. No offense. I think that guy's a troll. So take that as you will with that guy, Metal Spork. I think he's trolling. I actually had to ban him from the Discord. Mods, you do what you want. If he's being cool in the chat, leave him. But if he's trolling, I have zero problem getting rid of that guy. Dareth. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm getting that name wrong. But have you had the chance to catch the Terrence Howard and Eric Weinstein Joe Rogan podcast? Wait, what?
Yeah,
Terrence Howard and Eric Weinstein did a podcast on Joe Rogan?
I don't know. I think he means there's two. I think he's asking about the two separate episodes. Have you seen the Terrence Howard one with Joe, and have you seen the Eric Weinstein one with Joe?
Well, Eric has done many on there.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I've seen I've seen pretty much all his interviews on Joe Rogan. So yes, and I've seen the Terrence Howard one. But if they've done one together,
I've definitely not seen that either. If it exists, I would have thought it'd be all over the Twitter.
Yeah, it would be all over Twitter for sure. Yeah. As a follower of Night Shift, Clint Weldon has been invited to VETTED. Huh? As a follower of Night Shift, Clint Weldon has been invited to VETTED. Will he be on soon? Yes, I spoke to Clint yesterday through text. I think we're going to talk sometime this week. So we're trying to figure out, how to collaborate, what to do. So yeah, I did do an interview on his show. I would more than happy to bring Clint on to VETTED, 100%. Great guy. Go check out his channel. It's called Night Shift.
Wait, there is one of them together. It's right. It just came out today, apparently.
Really?
This is what CZAC says.
Holy shit. I will be covering that. Yes, absolutely. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you for that.
Do you know about my grinning visitor at night? When you yell, there is no sound, only silence. Ignorant demon children do not know the truth of the fear can kill. I don't know what any of that means, dude. Elder brother, Patrick, have you heard of the Robert Taylor story where he came across a landed UFO in a forest in the Livingston area of Scotland? I've never heard of that. That's interesting. I'll look into that. Robert Taylor, Scotland. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Never heard of that. That sounds interesting. I wish you were here, elder brother. I'd ask you what it's about. No, that's interesting. No, never heard of it. Buddy, hey, Patrick, do you think that importing the frequency of creativity reaches the same level as the frequency of luck. Wait, why the fuck am I giving a thumbs up here? What the fuck happened there? Reactions, dude. I can't get rid of them. Hey, Patrick, do you think importing the frequency of creativity? I don't know what that means, man, to be honest with you. So sorry, I'm not into the frequency thing. I don't know. So I apologize. I really wish I could answer that question better. Maybe someone in the comments can answer it for you for that. Libin says, Patrick, your opinion on Neil deGrasse Tyson when he always puts down UAP conversations. I won't go as far as Dr. Gary Nolan and say he deserves to have his PhD taken away. I think that's ridiculous in my opinion, but what do I know? I don't have a PhD. I'm not in that world. So whatever, if it was one chef to another chef, I'd probably have a more stronger opinion. But yeah, no, I don't appreciate Neil deGrasse Tyson putting down the conversation. I don't appreciate a lot of his points about it, and take an ashtray off the UFO, man. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Is he being serious?
He's
so yeah,
very condescending at times.
He's very condescending, and yeah, it's unbecoming of him. So yeah, not a fan of that attitude. So okay, I think we did it.
We did. Apparently, that episode dropped just an hour ago with Rogan and Weinstein and Howard. So that will be quite sensational.
That will be crazy. Look, it just came out, so if I play anything like that, I'm gonna get copyright struck. So I can't play the interview.
Yeah.
But I am gonna make a video on it tomorrow. Oops. Probably that'll be my video for tomorrow. Actually, will be that. I don't see why it would be anything else. So I'll watch it tonight. I'll get the best clips and highlights, and I'll show it tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. I'm sure it's going to be interesting for sure.
Wait, did Carl Heiser have a question? Wait, my question wasn't asked. What was your question? Sorry, Heiser.
You can blame Daniel.
Blame me.
Blame Daniel, Heiser.
Blame me. I'm sorry.
What's your question, Heiser? Of course, I'm going to ask her Heiser's question, man. Heiser's the man, y'all.
Let me go back. While he's typing, I'll have a look. Although I probably won't. Oh, Patrick, will you call? Oh, this one. Will you call my boss / wife and tell her I need to get out of work tomorrow? Is that the question? I think that was the question.
Negative, Heiser. No way I'm calling your wife to say something like that. Absolutely not. But I'll write you a note, Heiser. If you need me to write you a note to get you out of class, I will do that. No, dude, Heiser is the man. Look, all the mods. Okay. Thank you to Brookers, Jessica, Heiser, Daniel here, of course. Remedy when she jumps in when she can. Thank you. Yeah, everyone's so awesome and amazing. Thank you to everything that they do, y'all. They make this possible, y'all, the chat possible, because I'm not in there. I haven't read any of the chat today. So thank you to them. Look, I before we go, I do want to play a little clip from Michael Herrera's thing. Okay, so we're not going to go too much longer, but I said I would, and I'm going to play a clip of it. So basically them talking about Nathan, right, and those claims. Let's watch that. So let me and I want to give a shout out to this video. Okay, so this is it's on a channel called UAP Gerb or Gerb. Not sure how he's pronouncing it. Guys, great production. So definitely check out his channel. He's got great production. And they sat down with Michael Herrera and did an interview. Again, I have tried to get Michael Herrera on VETTED. He's not coming on here, dude, at all. He's going to do interviews like this, essentially, where it's more set up and he maybe gets to control the editing of it. I don't know. But yeah, he does not want to come on VETTED. All right, so this is...
Here's how AI can double your productivity. Most people work at least...
Some ads. Okay, here we go.
AI is everywhere.
is, so Nathan came forward, your team leader claims.
Real quick, the guy on the right with the glasses is Joey is not my name. Now, I'd never met him, didn't know what he looked like, but he's now come out and he's shown his face. That's the guy that's in my videos that I've made about Mike Herrera and the gentleman that helped me set up that interview with Nathan. Okay, so, and Joey is not my name is very active in Vetted's Discord. There's a debate thread about Mike Herrera, and he's in there a lot answering questions. So, shout out to him. And then the other guy next to him is UAP Jerb. I don't know if he's public with his name or whatever. I don't know. But he covers a lot of Dr. Greer's witnesses, Mike Herrera being one of them. And this is a video that they made together. So again, let's remember, I have the only interview with Nathan online, and Nathan has said he's not going to do any more. So they're talking about Vetted right here.
That, you're making this all up. First of all, it's like, so he was on Vetted with Patrick, and it was framed as if he was in a position, like there's no situation where Nathan would have seen the UFO, because from your testimony, he wasn't part of your squad.
No, he was not.
That was there.
Nope.
So he wouldn't have seen the UFO, right?
Not at all.
Yeah. So for him to be like, yeah, we were on this mission, but we didn't see the UFO, it doesn't make sense, because whatever mission he did, obviously he didn't see the UFO.
No, and I wasn't on the same one.
And you weren't on, exactly.
Nor was this a secret night mission.
No, it was not.
And it did not involve aliens.
Not at all. I never spoke seeing ETs, guys. That's kind of why this is boring in comparison to other people's stuff. But no, it was not a night mission. That would have sucked to have been our night. We didn't have night vision with us. I had my Kevlar, and I didn't even have a Rhino mount to mount anything, because I always kept that off because it just get in the way during the daytime. And typically I had on my Kevlar, I usually had goggles that were clear lenses. Most of the time it's just easy to pop those off and put them on, just because, I don't like having darks, because it just really fucked with my vision, and I hated it. And not only that, but these were ESS, and they fogged up like you wouldn't believe. So at least clears are easier to deal with that as opposed to the dark lenses. But yeah, Nathan wasn't with me.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that I find kind of funny, like when you think about it, if he's saying you made this all up, and so if that's the case, it means not only did you decide to make up a story about UFOs, but you decided the actual mission I went on with Nathan, I'm going to pretend that didn't happen too, which makes no sense whatsoever. And I mean, really, the only thing that makes Nathan's testimony have any weight whatsoever is simply the fact that you're denying that you were ever on a mission with him, because you could have very easily have just said, yeah, I did 2 missions. I did one with him, and I had this other one.
I didn't do 2
So
missions.
it's just like anyone with half a brain would know that, if you were making this all up, just say, I went on this real mission with Nathan too.
Well, yeah, it could have easily said something like that if that was really the case. And if I wanted to lie about shit.
Right.
But, then obviously the insiders wouldn't exist, and
Well, that's the biggest thing for me is why would this insider be approaching you?
And it's just not one guy, it's multiple, you know what I mean? So why would they spend any time to try to help me if I was lying to anybody? Why would they expose themselves on their parts of it in details that I personally know? They wouldn't take that chance. Their butts already puckered up just like mine compared, because obviously what they're having to deal with personally. They wouldn't subject themselves to going to somebody who's lying. Doesn't make any sense.
But so Nathan, the thing that's most compelling about Nathan is he
hang on
is
before we go any further. I got a lot of comments here. What do y'all want? You'll want the real Vetted? Y'all want Patrick? Do you want the real Vetted right here?
I think
Look,
so.
I'm not going to diminish these guys right here, Joey and the other guy, UAP Jerb. Okay, but let me just comment on the words they used. So nothing against these guys personally. Let me make that clear. They can say everything they want about Vetted and me personally. I don't care. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to attack the words. So Joey's saying anyone with half a brain, all right? Let's break that down. Anyone with half a brain would question this entire story. Anyone with one neuron in their brain. Now let's attack I never said aliens. Yeah, you did, Michael. You did. You went on Gaia and you talked about it. And that's what this insider told you about. Remember, they're shooting down UFOs from aliens using hybrid psychic humans that are special, that they hook up to machines to entice aliens. The UFO that Michael Herrera saw was reverse engineered from aliens. So to claim that aliens aren't a part of your story is completely disingenuous. And to make us like, oh, bringing that up is, oh my God, anyone with half a brain would know. No, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous, y'all. Okay. The idea that you're going to prove your story by being like, yeah, that just doesn't make sense. And this doesn't make sense. That's how you're going to prove your story. Let me tell you what also doesn't make sense. Michael's story doesn't make sense. No offense, but if that's the argument, if that's the sandbox we're laying out is, well, this just doesn't make sense. You're telling me it makes sense that a dude, 20 years old, cook on a boat or whatever he was, gets chosen randomly to go out in the field, happens to come across a reverse engineered UFO that he claims doesn't come from aliens, but it does come from aliens. They're human trafficking psychic human hybrids during a natural disaster. He's then contacted by an insider, taken to a secret black site, told about this whole operation of psionic human beings that are hybrids that we kill, by the way. And Michael's aware of this. We kill them because the machines we hook them up to, it eventually drains them of their energy and they die. These are Michael's words, not mine. Okay. So this idea that this is just, this is crazy what Nathan's saying. No, I'm sorry, y'all. Michael's story is hard to believe and crazy. Not Nathan's. Like, what are we losing our base of reality here? Again, nothing against Joey and UAP Jerb. They're great guys. I have no problem with that. But if that's the sandbox, you're going to lose everybody. I'm sorry. You're going to lose a lot of people. The only people you're going to get are people that just believe this anyway. You're not going to convince anyone on the fence with, well, that's just crazy that Nathan would say that. And oh, I'm sorry. I got it wrong that it was at night and during the day. Yeah, my bad. That's the real problem with this story of, reverse engineered UFOs, alien psionics, shooting them down multiple times, right? That's what this insider is claiming. And the idea that why would this insider choose a liar? That's the crazy part. What are we talking about? Like this idea that people don't lie and make this up, but Nathan's making it up. So you're telling me Nathan's story that he makes up is more outlandish than Michael's story? I mean, we have lost our goddamn minds if that's where people are at. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but we have lost our goddamn minds. All right, let's continue.
He is,
Correct.
He
With
was
that.
At one point, yes.
and he was on that operation. He was on the ship. All of that stuff logically lines up. And he has this photograph of two people on a helicopter. He says one of them is you. You deny that. You say
Correct.
That's not
I know
you.
who it is. I'm not going to say who it is, but I know who it is.
Yeah. So the thing that's
okay
interesting though
okay.
is
So I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say who it is. Dude, again, you make up your own mind about this story, but it's just getting more ridiculous. Sorry, just being honest. Just being honest, y'all.
someone found a match in the camouflage between that photo and another photo of you.
Is it the Daily Mail photo?
Yeah, the
Okay,
Daily Mail.
because there's only 2 photos that I know that that have been released. One of them was when I sent to Josh Bosworth with Daily Mail, because they're like, "Hey, do you have any pictures you want to?"
Yeah,
I believe it's you, helmet on, holding the saw.
right.
Correct.
Right.
So yes, and I mean, but here's the thing: it's a medium reg that I was wearing. A lot of them are the same patterns of that way. It's not like it's a fingerprint of one specific thing.
I mean, it's odd that it's in the same location. Like I know, like some of the patterns repeat, and you can find examples of this all over of finding like the pattern, you know, on a leg here, and then on a different uniform, like it'll be on like the other leg or whatever.
Right, and but it's like some of the patterns don't even look identical. Just in my opinion, you know, that's just where we're at. And
so you don't think there's any possibility that like it was a picture of you on a different day?
no, that was not me.
It just simply
Facial structure doesn't look the same as mine. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's not even me. I mean, even everybody I've showed that knows me is like, that's not fucking you, dude.
Yeah.
I've had people text me like, this guy's saying it's you. That's not you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's what he's got, that's what he's got. That's not me.
Right.
Well, stop the presses, y'all. Michael's texted it to Frenzy, and they said that's not him. I guess let's move on. There's all the evidence you need. He texted his friends. I am absolutely blown away right now. Look, again, nothing against Joey and this guy, UAP Jerb. First of all, UAP Jerb does amazing work. If you check out his videos, they're so well made. He does a great job. The dude's a great editor. I would hire that guy in a heartbeat, to be honest with you. Like, he's amazing. He's really good. Is him and Joey still objective in the story? That's up for you to decide. Right? You're going to have to decide that. You really have to decide the people that are presenting you with someone else's story are objective. Right? But all for you to decide. But I got to be honest, I am blown away by some of these answers and the sandbox they're creating for the truth, what the standards of truth are, right? Anyone with half a brain, these sort of comments, right? Again, when you set up those goalposts, hang on. Now we get to play in that sandbox you just created. Now let's take the other information and apply our half a brain to it, right? So I think if this is their way of trying to convince people of Michael Herrera's story, it's not good. No offense. Now, if they're just trying to present a story and have you decide for yourself, that's different. Right? And everyone's going to decide that for themselves. Again, nothing against UAP Jerb or Joey is not my name. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in some of these comments and answers. And look, maybe they're a little intimidated to be in front of Michael Herrera for the first time. It's the first time they're meeting him. You don't want to just sit down with somebody and be accusing them. I get that as well. They're being personable, right? To some extent. So
what his intention with this is, I don't know. But they're just,
I mean, you guys have a history. I mean,
he doesn't like me flat out. And the feeling's mutual. But the thing is, I got with what I'm dealing with in my life.
Right.
And that's all I'm focused on.
Right.
I'm not making money off of this stuff. This doesn't get me anywhere financially.
Right.
What it does provide is understanding and stuff that I wish I never learned, but the truth had to be known. And I'm thankful at least these insiders were able to show details and share me details as well of what they were personally dealing with, because these guys are working in that organization.
Yeah. So let's fast forward to that, kind of modern day, after your whole experience. You don't talk about this for many years. What?
I'll put a link in the description, y'all. Go see it for yourself. I'm absolutely happy to promote the interview and for people to check it out. Go see it. Will Michael ever come on Vetted? No, he's not coming on. He's not coming on. And I tried. To be honest, I'm moving past this story. I got a bunch of other stuff I'd rather cover. All right. There's not really much else to cover with Michael Herrera. You know what I mean? Because anyone with half a brain. And, you know, come on, this is crazy. Nathan's story is crazy, but Michael's totally sounds believable. And absolutely, you know. And look, I'll be honest, just full transparency. Michael shares a lot of private information with Joey and UAP Jerb and insiders and all these other people, and they share information privately that can't be shared publicly, unfortunately. No offense, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It just is. You know, you can't ask
Yeah, I always
people to
thought-
accept this story without all the information out there. And then put the onus on people like Nathan or other people who are questioning it like, come on, anyone with have a brain would know. No, you're not putting out all the information. You're having secret conversations and just saying, trust me, bro. I'm sorry, but this idea that, you know, you want to make people feel bad for even questioning Michael Herrera, or the fact that Nathan's story is the one that's more outlandish. Right? Let's compare the two stories. Compare them. The full Michael Herrera story. Compare that with Nathan's story. Which one seems more outlandish to you? Really ask yourself, regardless if you believe in this phenomena or not. Again, like I've stated multiple times, all of these stories can't be true. The way Michael Herrera describes this program and all these things happening don't line up with other stories. So are they lying? Who's lying? Are they all true? Impossible. And you know that deep down. And you'll never be able to prove Michael Herrera's story. Ever. So it's really just, I would just say to UAP Jerb, and Joey is not my name right here, be careful. Do you have families? Be careful. Like, what are you doing? You know, you either don't believe it. I don't think they actually believe it. And this is why. If they really believed it, they would never get involved. Right? Because they have families. Why would you put your family in that kind of danger? You wouldn't if you actually believed it. So I don't even think they believe it. Are they just trying to stay with the story and stay objective? Maybe. But let's be real. There's no way Joey is not my name can remain objective and get this insider information. You can't. It's an impossible task. Right? It's impossible. So just be careful, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Be careful out there. Be careful who you get involved with like this privately and secretly. And now they have this information over you. Right? And they know you know these secrets. And what's going to happen to you if you reveal it to somebody? They tell you that? They tell you what would happen if you revealed the insider information they gave you? Is it worth it? I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, link in the description. Go check it out. Yeah, that kind of set me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
That was very clippable content. People are going to love that.
Well, I don't know. All I know is you make up your own mind. Okay, that's for sure. I'm not trying to make it up for you, but those are my personal thoughts about that. I've said it. I'm not going to do it again. AG, thanks, Patrick and Daniel. Yes, thank you to Daniel, dude, sticking this out. He's the fucking man, y'all. Y'all have no idea how awesome Daniel is. So I don't want to make Daniel feel uncomfortable here, but he is the shit, y'all. I mean that.
I like Mark's comment there.
We would, the Discord is popping now. I'm telling y'all, the Discord, and Daniel he did such a good job bringing this up and creating a great space. And, you know, I'm just so thankful for it.
You're welcome.
Angelo Fuerte, super sticker. Thank you, brother. Muchas gracias, tío. DIY camo guy, bro. I messaged AJ Hartley for you. Interview? Well, don't message people for me. I appreciate it, but we got it. But I appreciate that. But don't message them for me. Message them on your behalf. You can say, hey, I'd love to see you on Vetted, but don't message for us. But I get your intent. Yeah, I would absolutely interview him. That would be a great interview. And I totally get the sentiment. So thank you, DIY Camo Guy.
I just thought that was a
Mark,
fun
sure.
comment.
Yeah, take it as a compliment. Mark says, if you're using half your brain, it's 90% more than most of society. Yes, Mark with the laughs, man. Mark is hilarious, dude. Mark's in our Patreon meeting. That dude keeps me laughing, balanced. I really appreciate Mark. Mark's a great dude.
Very good value human.
Yeah, he has a new book with Tom DeLonge. No, I know that. I know who AJ Hartley is. Trinity. It's called Trinity. Look, okay, Daniel, what last final thoughts here? What do you think?
About
Just,
about life
we're just
and
we're
everything.
signing off, final comments
Final comments. Oh, just
about
really
Discord,
I'm
I don't know, anything, whatever you want.
grateful to be here. The Discord is always there for you. We'd love to have more members, of course. It's popping off, is growing steadily. Discord.gg/vetted. Thank you to all the people that have been contributing there. It's good to see that all the different channels, all the different sections that we have for dedicated stuff, they're being used as intended, and people seem to be enjoying it. And yeah, it's great to see. Sorry if I missed any of your questions, by the way. My brain is a little bit running on empty at the moment, but we're all good.
We had a lot of questions. I mean, we couldn't have taken any more what we did. So no, you did great, man. It's not easy to do. Look, did you see how many comments were going through? Dude, it was fucking insane. It was impossible.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, no, thank you to Daniel. Thank you to the mods as always. Look, at the end of the day, open, civil, respectful conversations. All right, that's where we need to be. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not attacking UAP Jerb, or Joey is not my name, or Michael Herrera for that fact, but I am attacking the words they used and the sentiment they said. And I think that's fair. But in no way am I attacking them personally. I think they're great guys, nothing against them. I would have them on at any moment to talk about anything. All three of them have an open invitation. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. This was a long one. It's probably one of the longest streams I've done, to be honest with you. So thank you to everyone for hanging out. And this was awesome. I really appreciate it. I've got a lot of great videos coming out, y'all. There's a lot of stories we're covering, a lot of stuff happening. So I'm really excited for that. I've got stuff lined up in going into August. I mean that. So there's a lot of stuff, plus trying to cover the stuff that's just going to be coming out on the daily, right? On top of that. So there's a lot of original vetted content, I guess I should say, coming out, which is great. A lot of interviews, a lot of videos, a lot of stuff, road trips, right? I got the Roswell one. I got the MUFON Symposium. Real quick, I'll tell you what, I'll end on a great note here. I spoke to Ron James, and we're going to try something once a month. I don't know when the next one will be. We'll set it up, probably be sometime at the end of the month here. But Ron and I, once a month, we're going to test it, get together and do a live stream. And Ron's going to open up some either MUFON cases or stuff that he's working on, and we're going to vet it together publicly. He's going to bring it up, open up the files, and we'll all kind of look at some stuff together, right? And talk about, investigate. And I thought that would be really cool, right?
Sweet.
Right. So I think that'll be cool. We'll try it, see how it works. People respond. I think they will. Because look what happened with the photos he showed the other day when he came on. And then we go in the Discord, and Jessica and some other people immediately break it down.
Cool.
And I sent that to Ron, and he was like, holy shit, and then he looked into it and was like, yeah, this photo can't be from whatever, it was great. We literally vetting stuff immediately, right? Publicly. So that would be cool. And we'll just see what happens. Worth trying, right? So really excited about that. And yeah, that's it. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you to Daniel. Thank you to everyone else.
Thanks everyone.
Go to the Discord. I will not be in the chat today. Normally I do go to the after party chat. I won't be there today. But please, everyone else goes there. So go hang out. Continue to comment. Go to the Discord. Wearing my Vetted shirt today. Go to vetted.show. You can get merch. I'm really bad on promoting merch, but I've been told to do better. So I got my mug and the shirt today. Go to vetted.show. You can get a mug, a shirt if you want support. Thank you guys so much. So that's it, Daniel. We did it, brother.
All right. Great to see you guys.
All right, y'all. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all.